Whether you live in Canada, say maybe you came to Canada as an international student in the Atlantic provinces and you're trying to get PR while in Canada, and if you are a foreign skilled worker, you can also apply for this AIP program from outside of Canada. Skilled workers and foreign international graduates are welcomed to apply. My name is Nikki and welcome to my YouTube channel Ada Canada. If this is your first time stopping by, or if you are a returning subscriber, welcome. I do hope that you find this video insightful. Today's topic is about the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program for 2023. I'm going to be telling you all about it, what you need in order to apply for permanent residency for yourself or for your family through this stream. Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program, which is the AIPP, some people call it AIP. This program is for those of you intending to move to Canada via permanent residency. If you do not want to go the express entry route, if you do not want to go through the study in Canada route, this is another option that you can consider, provided you have the requirements that are needed in order to enter into Canada using this stream. The Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program is an employer-driven immigration program. It's a pathway to permanent residency for skilled foreign workers and international graduates. You can work and live in any one of the 4 Atlantic provinces, namely Newfoundland and Labrador, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick. Employers within any of these 4 provinces hire qualified candidates for jobs they have been unable to fill with local candidates. So what it means is that they are trying to fill in the gaps created by labor shortages or by the older workforce who are retiring, and they're trying to fill it with younger workforce, younger population who are able to come into Canada and live and work permanently. One of the most important things to note about this immigration stream is that you must have a valid job offer before you apply for permanent residency through this stream. You must have a job offer from a designated employer, meaning that the employer in Canada that is going to hire you from outside must also be participating in this Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program, and you must receive that offer. A lot of things also have to be in place before you can submit your application for permanent residency. So it is not like express entry where you can just apply without having a job offer. You must have a job offer from an employer within Canada that is designated, that is also taking part in this immigration stream. Also, in order to get into Canada using this stream, you must be willing to live and work in any one of those 4 provinces that I mentioned, which are the Atlantic provinces. Those 4 provinces are the provinces that are on the east coast of Canada, the easternmost part of Canada. You cannot use the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program to live and work in Ontario. You cannot use it to live and work in Alberta. You cannot use it to live and work in British Columbia, in Manitoba, in Saskatchewan. It has to be within those 4 provinces because those are the 4 Atlantic provinces of Canada. So you have to be willing to live and work in the east coast of Canada in any one of those 4 provinces. Also, for this program, either skilled workers or foreign graduates can partake in it, can apply for this program and get permanent residency through this program. Whether you live in Canada, say maybe you came to Canada as an international student in the Atlantic provinces and you're trying to get PR, you can apply for the AIP while in Canada. And if you are a foreign skilled worker, you can also apply for this AIP program from outside of Canada. So skilled workers and foreign international graduates are welcomed to apply. Let us look at the eligibility. So the first thing you need to be eligible for this program is that you must have work experience. You must have relevant work experience for the job that you are applying for. It is very important, it is very mandatory that you have relevant work experience before you apply for this Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program. The second eligibility criteria is the educational requirements. You must have the relevant or equivalent educational requirements. The educational requirements are that you must have at least 1 year of post-secondary education within a Canadian school, and this is if you're an international student. If you are not an international student, if you didn't study in Canada, you have to have the equivalent education, post-secondary education from your home country. And the equivalent from outside the country is simply having a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, as the case may be, because that is more than 1 year of the minimum educational requirement. Third eligibility criteria on the list is that you must meet the language requirements. When you are coming to Canada for your studies, you may not necessarily need to provide any proof of English proficiency or any English language requirements. There are quite a number of schools that are able to exempt or waive the English language requirement for you to come and study in Canada. However, when it comes to permanent residency, nobody is exempt from English language requirements. Nobody is exempt from it. So it doesn't matter if you are from an English speaking country, insofar as you want to become permanently resident in Canada, insofar as you want to become a citizen in the future, you must demonstrate that proof of English language proficiency if you were not born in Canada and if you have not lived the majority part of your life in Canada. It is mandatory. Everybody has to do it. The way that you can fulfill this English language requirements is by taking English language proficiency exam. For example, IELTS or CELPIP. CELPIP is it's a Canadian English language proficiency exam. Obviously, if you're from outside of Canada or if you live outside of Canada and you're considering this Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program, you obviously cannot take the CELPIP exam. If you are an international student who recently just graduated and you're trying to work out your permanent residency through this immigration stream, you can take the CELPIP exam if you do not want to take the IELTS exam. However, for those of you foreign skilled workers from outside Canada, you have to take the IELTS exam and it has to meet with the cutoff marks that they require. I'm going to put a screenshot of the IELTS cutoff marks that they require directly from their website. Also, I'm going to put a lot of links in the description box and also in the comment section, because this immigration stream, it's a lot. So I'm going to try and break down the information as best as I can, but it is a lot. So you have to do your own due diligence by reading up on things, because I possibly cannot discuss everything. This video is going to be too long if I start talking about everything that you need for the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program. If you are from outside Canada and you want to take the IELTS test, you have to take the general test. That is the only one they will accept. You cannot take the academic IELTS test for this program. Try to aim for higher than the minimum cutoff marks that they require for English language proficiency. The fourth eligibility criteria is settlement funds. Settlement funds is basically money that you're going to use to support yourself or your family if you're moving with your family through this immigration stream when you come into Canada. So you have to demonstrate that you have enough funds to support yourself and also support your family. And the way that you can demonstrate settlement funds is through a bank statement or proof of funds. I'm also going to put like a screenshot of the amounts that you need for each individual member, whether it's for yourself or if you are adding dependents or your spouse, to demonstrate proof of funds for this Atlantic Immigration Program. Now that we have looked at this eligibility criteria, if you feel that you meet the 4 eligibility criteria that I have mentioned, your next step is to apply for a job with an employer that is in any one of the 4 Atlantic provinces in Canada. You don't just go ahead and apply for permanent residency without a job offer. You need a job offer and you need some supporting documentation along with that job offer before you can submit your application for permanent residency. Remember that this immigration stream is employer driven, which means that you are not doing it yourself, okay? Your employer is also, whoever is going to employ you from Canada is also going to be the one that will provide you with some extra documentation that you need. And without that documentation, without a valid offer, there is no way they are going to consider your application for permanent residency. So a simple way that you can search for job is through the Canadian Job Bank. I'm going to put a link on the screen and also in the comment section. So what you do is when you click on that link, open an account with Canadian Job Bank. It's very easy, it's very self-explanatory to open an account and then fill in your information and you can start searching for jobs. Understand that this is a step-by-step process. This is not express entry. This is employer driven. Another way that you can search for job is through LinkedIn. If you haven't done this, you have to revamp your CV, put in some of your work experience, reach out to recruiters in Canada. Some of the jobs that really qualify under this Atlantic immigration program are jobs like software engineering, financial managers, financial advisors. There is also like a bunch of other jobs, but these are just like the common ones, like the top 3 jobs in my head that I remember seeing when I was doing my research. One thing that I want to stress on this aspect is please beware of scam job offers. There are a lot of scammers out there, people who pose as employers, but they are not actually designated. They don't have any business with Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program. They are just there to swindle you. So please beware of scam employers, beware of scam job offers. One of the easiest and the simplest way to tell that an offer is a scam is when they ask you for money. Nobody in Canada will ever ask you to provide money before they give you a job offer. That is not how it's done. We don't do that here. If it's too good to be true, there's probably something wrong there. Open your eyes and your ears. Don't get too excited. Don't get too gullible. And if there is any employer that is asking you to pay any amount of money, just know that that is an automatic scam, because no employer is going to ask you to pay a certain amount of money before you receive a job offer in Canada. Another thing to note with job offers is when you receive a job offer from an employer in Canada, please reach out to them, reach out to the employer and ask for a certificate of designation. Remember, not all employers in the Atlantic provinces of Canada are designated. Not every employer in those provinces participates in the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program. So when you're applying for a job, and if you're lucky enough to get a job, ask them for a certificate of designation. And that certificate of designation just shows that they are actually designated. They are taking part in the Atlantic Immigration Program. They are aware of the Atlantic Immigration Program and they want to bring in workers. The employer that is hiring you should have a certificate of designation. If they do not have a certificate of designation, talk to them about the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program and ask them if they will consider being designated. It is not your job to designate them. It is the job of the government to make them designated. The next important factor to consider in the Atlantic Immigration Program is that you must have a settlement plan. You're going to use the settlement plan along with your other documentation to apply for permanent residency when you have that job offer. A settlement plan is simply a plan that details or outlines how you are going to adjust, how you're going to live, and how you're going to settle when you come into Canada. It provides you with useful resources and contacts that will help make your adjustment into Canada seamless and easy. These settlement plans come free of charge, meaning that you are not supposed to pay for them. We have a number of settlement provider organizations that can provide you as an incoming migrant with settlement plans. One of the easiest ways to get a settlement plan is to ask your employer. So the employer that has given you the job offer, ask them for settlement provider organizations that can provide you with settlement plans, and they will be able to direct you on where to go of which organization. They will provide you with a list of organizations, they'll provide you with a list of resources, whatever it is that you need, or how you can get a settlement plan. If anybody is asking you to pay a certain amount for settlement plan, refer them to the IRCC website under the Atlantic Immigration Pilot stream that settlement plans are completely free of charge. So the next important thing to consider, the next important thing that you need before you can finally apply and submit your application for permanent residency through the Atlantic immigration stream is a certificate of endorsement. Whatever province that the employer is located in, that province has to provide you with a certificate of endorsement, meaning that the province has to endorse your job offer. So remember how I said that you need a job offer. You cannot skip steps in this process because it's just not going to work and you're setting yourself up for failure. So you must have a valid job offer from a designated employer, and the designated employer has to run the process of endorsing your job offer. The province has to endorse your job offer before you can apply for permanent residency. And the way that they endorse it is that they will provide you with a certificate of endorsement, meaning that, okay, they are endorsing your job, this job that they are hiring you for. There is nobody else in Canada that can do this kind of job, and so they have to bring someone from outside the country. Or if you're an international skills graduate, like you are the one that is most qualified. In order to get the certificate of endorsement, this is not actually your job to do. It is your employer who applies for certificate of endorsement with the province, right? It comes from the province. That is one of the last important documents that you need before you finally submit your application for permanent residency. Just to recap again, with the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Stream, you need to make sure that you fulfill the eligibility criteria. You need to make sure that you have the right amount of funds through your bank statement. And when you have or meet those eligibility criteria, you need to apply for a job and get a valid job offer from a designated employer. Then you need a settlement plan and you need a certificate of endorsement from the province, the Atlantic province that you are moving into. Once you have all of these things set up, you can finally go ahead and apply and submit your application for permanent residency through the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program. So some bonus information to take note of is the application cost. It costs 1,365 Canadian dollars to apply for permanent residency through this stream, and the processing time is 5 months. All right guys, so I hope that you were able to find some insights into this immigration stream. I tried to summarize this information as best as I could because it is a lot to take in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put links in the description box and also in the comment section. Please take your time to go through the information. It is quite a lot. You have to go through it. You have to digest, read it for yourself. Make sure that you understand everything that you need in order to apply for permanent residency. Once you are able to follow the due process, the steps needed to get it, then you will realize that the process, you're going to find the process quite seamless. Please like this video, give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this, and turn on your post notifications so that you will be notified whenever I upload new videos. I will see you guys in my next video. Stay safe. Bye.